Chuck Klein, one of the most underrated baseball players in history. He made the Baseball Hall of Fame 17 years. Ken Arzone here, Vista, California, Thursday, March 6th, 2025. I'm looking at Chuck Klein, first 5 years in the league. Excellent. His rookie season, he batted 360. Then listen to the batting averages after this. 356, 386, 337, 348. So 5 years in the league, over 300. This video, I want to look at 1933 season. How did he do? 152 games, 606 at-bats. He gets 101 runs scored. Now that's down from 152 the year before, but 5 years in a row, 100 runs scored. 223 hits. 5 years in a row, 200 or better hits. 44 doubles, 7 triples, 28 homers, 120 RBIs, 5 years in a row over 100. 56 walks. He bats 368. That's 6 years in a row over 300. 422 on base, 602 slugging. That's the fourth time 600 or better slugging. And he gets 365 total bases. That is 5 years in a row. Yes, 5 years in a row, 300 or better total bases. And I have an announcement. And the announcement is this. Chuck Klein just set a major league record. I shouldn't just say just. Chuck Klein, in this 5-year period, set a major league record. What did he do? He went 5 for 5 in 5 certain categories 5 years in a row. And nobody else has been able to do that. What do I mean? The 5 categories are this. 100 runs scored. For 5 years in a row, Chuck Klein went over 100. 200 hits. Chuck Klein, 5 years in a row. 100 RBIs or more. Chuck Klein, 5 years in a row. 300 or better batting average. Chuck Klein, 5 years in a row. 300 total bases. Chuck Klein, 5 years in a row. 5 for 5 in those categories. I didn't realize this. That's a major league record. I looked it up. There are a lot of guys that have multiple 200 hit seasons. So that's one of the criteria is you got to have 5 of those in a row. There are only 3 other guys that I found that had 5 consecutive 200 hit seasons and had the 100 runs scored, the 100 RBIs, the 300 or better batting average, and the 300 total bases more. Ichiro had 10 200 hit seasons in a row, but he didn't have the 100 RBIs and the 300 total bases 5 times in a row. He didn't do that. Wade Boggs was another guy that had like 7 200 hit seasons in a row, but he didn't do the other categories of the 100 RBIs 5 years in a row and so forth. But Bill Terry, Paul Wainer, and Al Simmons, they did it 4 years in a row. 100 runs scored, 200 hits, 100 RBI, 300 better total batting average, and 300 total bases. All 3 of those guys did it 4 years in a row. Lou Gehrig had 8 200 hit seasons, but he didn't do the 5 200 hit seasons in a row, so he wasn't able to do it. Chuck Klein is the only guy in baseball history, I don't know if you know this, 5 seasons in a row in those 5 categories I mentioned. Did you know that? I didn't know that. That's a major league record. Now, there are other guys that have multiple 5 for 5 seasons of these 5 categories. I looked it up. Lou Gehrig had 8 seasons, 5 for 5. 8 of them. He has more than Chuck Klein. It's just that Lou Gehrig didn't do 5 in a row. Okay. That's why I'm emphasizing that Chuck Klein's 5 years in a row is a major league record. But as far as who holds the most 5 for 5 seasons in those 5 categories, Lou Gehrig holds the record. 8 of them. How about that? So Chuck Klein, 1933 season. Remarkable. 101 runs scored, 223 hits, 120 RBIs. He bats .368, and he gets 365 total bases. I like Chuck Klein's start to his career. 6 years in a row. 6 years now he's been playing. And those 5 consecutive seasons, getting those 5 categories numbers. Are you following me? How about that? I didn't know that. Props. All right, 1934 season. Chuck Klein is next. Can he make it 6 in a row? We'll find out. I'm out.